The Amazon from time to time enters the international news cycle. In 2019, which was the first fire season under Jair Bolsonaro, there was a surge in the number of fires in the Amazon, and for it feels like a week or two, that was a subject that we were seeing here in the United States and was getting attention in Europe. In 2022, with the disappearance of Dom and Bruno, again, there was global attention on the rainforest and a sense of urgency behind coming up with solutions for its challenges. And then inevitably, the discussion recedes, at least from the global public discussion. Obviously, there are people who focus on these issues full time. But it can create for many of us this black box in which we don't really know what's going on there right now. We've had a change of president in Brazil and in the United States. What is happening on the ground right now in the Amazon?
Well, now we have the consequence of the farmers' president. So, Bolsonaro encouraged with his speech some irresponsible criminal activities. So, we are facing this now in Amazon.
Still?
Yeah. Yeah, because and when he destroy the government agents to órgãos de proteção?
Protection Agency, for the Environmental Protection Agency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to rebuild this structure. It takes time. They hired a lot of good employers, you know. So you have to rebuild this. It's not easy. And I think that in meantime, in the Bolsonaro's government, we had this. We had problems in Amazon, but they potentially with narco traffic now, because you have combined narco traffic with illegal activities. So it's much more complex to solve this. You know what I mean? And we have now in Brazil we have a horrible Congress. And this Congress, it's leading by agribusiness, the worst of agribusiness mentality, because it's actually the problem in Amazon is affecting right now the production. It's so stupid because they are changing the rain season. The production is just decreasing because of no water. We have dry season in many parts of Brazil. And I think that now we have this consequence of Bolsonaro's government, but we have the problem, current problem with the Congress.
So what I'm hearing is if you have a government come in and disrupt the institutions of government, that's going to have a lasting effect and it will be difficult to rebuild.
Yeah.
It sounds not very different from what might be happening in this country.
Yeah.
Okay, the president for the last 2+ years has been Lula, who ran on, in part, on promises to slow deforestation, improve conditions in the Amazon. Either one of you, how effective has he tried to keep these promises, and what if anything are we seeing now?
Well, I think that now is better, no doubt, because under Bolsonaro it's a nightmare. But as I say, we have this agribusiness Congress is horrible. Just battle, how can I say, struggling with with environmental laws, trying to soften them. It's horrible right now. There is indigenous demarcation. They want to explore gold mining in indigenous land. So I think that now it's really important, the international pressure to try to support especially indigenous and traditional communities to keep safe their lands. But we are living a big challenge moment.
Yeah, I mean, trying to make this in U.S. terms, it's like Lula's government. He won the election, okay, much better than Bolsonaro. He's not openly saying let's chop it all down. And then like 2/3 of his government of the Congress is all Joe Manchins, right? Like, we're on your side, we're your ally, we may be in your party or in your coalition, but also, drill baby drill, chop it all down. And it's gotten worse and worse over the years. And at the same time, he's been going further and further to the right. Maybe because of his own convictions, maybe because of his pragmatic, politics. But right now, there is a bill that passed in the House, passed in the Senate, is now going back to the House, which is being called like the devastation bill. And it is completely stripping the need for environmental approval processes for major mining, dams, large farms. It's all going to be self-reported. Check some boxes. I swear I'll be good, and that's fine. This is like catastrophic if this were to happen, which is why it's being called what it's being called. And his government is not opposing it at all, which the Bolsonaro government would not be opposing either. They'd be supporting it. He's just not opposing it. Like, why? Is it because he believes in this? I don't think so. I think he just knows that he's not going to win, but you can't just give up the fight, right? And so this is just one example. And in my chapter in the book, I went to COP28 in Dubai, and it's this moment of great hope, right? Like, you finally spent 4 years battling against the Bolsonaros, and like people were getting killed and terrible things were happening every single week, and you're just constantly in this defensive mode. Now you have this opportunity, all these promises he made in the campaign. He had Haoni, the famous indigenous leader, up on the stage with him during his inauguration. They're just, okay, like this is it. And he has this meeting with 120 representatives of civil society that are all there, excited, this is it. And we just got COP coming to Brazil, and so it's gonna be, this big opportunity for a pivot, this inflection point in global history, in human history. And he goes up there on the stage and he says, I want to let you all know that we are not going to join OPEC, as has been reported in the press. And I was like, oh my God, like he's going to step back from this. Like, this is great. They're giving up oil like Gustavo Petro did in Colombia. He said, because we're joining OPEC Plus, and it's going to be great. We're going to make the change from the inside. And you just feel, the oxygen leave the room, and it's just this moment that really crystallized this juxtaposition of the hope and the electoral promises, and then the reality of the political scenario in which we live in. So that's why I think Dom understood this. I mean, this was after he died, so he didn't see this exact situation happening, but he understood that the thing that most scared the Bolsonaros and the agribusiness and all the people that want to do the devastation law is the threat of an international boycott. Under Bolsonaro, there was a serious threat that Europe was going to boycott Brazilian beef, and this was going to be in soy. And this was going to be a huge economic hit for them. They're being driven by their bottom line, and that was the thing that was forcing them to make certain changes in accommodations and concessions. So Lula does not have the power, even if he wanted to. And he just said recently that he's so proud of JBS, for being the biggest meat producer in the world. They're the ones that are most responsible of all the recent violations of deforestation. I think they're like responsible for 92% was in their supply chain. They're just completely responsible for so much of this. And he's very proud of them. It was under his government that pushed up. So we need international government regulations, laws, pressure, consumer actions to make it so that this is no longer a profitable decision for them to make. And that's really the thing that's going to most be able to change this, because the Brazilian Congress ain't going to do it.